Hey guys, happy freaking Monday. The fact that I'm even having to make this video is really sad. News dropped today that Assassin's Creed Unity will run at 900p at 30 frames per second on both the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. So what do you think happened? Everybody's flipping their lid, acting as if they just killed your firstborn child. So I'm gonna go through it rationally with you here. Okay? First, the guys over at Ubisoft commented, and this is what they had to say, okay? I quote from senior producer Vincent Pondbriand, I can't say his name, but we decided to lock them at the same specs to avoid all the debates and stuff. Technically, and this is what I'm talking about, this is why people are freaking out, but they shouldn't be. Technically, we are CPU bound, he said. The GPUs are really powerful. Obviously, the graphics look pretty good, but it's the CPU that has to process the AI, the number of NPCs we have on screen, and all of these systems running in parallel. We were quickly bottlenecked by that, and it was a bit frustrating because we thought this was going to be a tenfold improvement over everything AI-wise, and we realized it was going to be pretty hard. It's not the number of polygons that affect the frame rate, and again, I'm going to repeat this. It's not the number of polygons that affect the frame rate. We could be running at 100 FPS if it was just graphics, but because of AI, we are still limited to 30 frames per second. That means it's not the GPU. The GPU is the graphics processing. So that's what the GPU does. It processes graphics. Pure pixel ratios, okay? This has nothing to do with pixels. This is about the CPU and processing all of the AI on screen. In order to get how they want it, with all the AI and all the NPCs and stuff, they had to dumb the game down a little bit. Just a little bit. 180 pixels is all they're taking away from you. By 180 pixels, and now the games both run fine on both consoles at a solid 30 frames per second. That does not mean that the PlayStation 4 is being held back by the Xbox. If anything, both of the consoles are holding back the PC version, and if you really want your extra 180 pixels, just buy the PC version. However, what this does technically mean, since the only issue is the CPU, the Xbox One has a better CPU. So what people don't understand, and why this whole thing is turning into a flame war, They did this whole stuff so that they did this whole interview so that there wouldn't be a war, but it just ended up fueling the flames, which I find hilarious. Technically, in this circumstance, CPU is all that matters. The Xbox One CPU is more powerful, so if you're being technical, the PS4 is holding the Xbox One back in this aspect because they are both locked at the same exact settings so that the game looks the exact same on the PS4 as it does on the Xbox One. That's what's happened, and people need to get over it because it doesn't matter. I'm happy that the game's running 930 frames because I didn't expect it to get to 1080p 60 with they've been talking about all the stuff that they're doing with the AI, and I'm like, there's no way all the stuff that they're trying to push is going to get it onto these consoles the way that they're talking about it. So yes, they did have to lower the resolution, but that's all they did. They didn't, I mean, according to them, they didn't mess with the settings. They left everything how it was. All they did was took away 180 pixels, and people are acting as if, you know, they just stabbed your mother with a rusty knife and gave her dysentery. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, but just calm down. It's 180 pixels. Both versions of the game are going to be wonderful. And if you really need a boost in performance, buy it on a high-end PC. And do not go to YouTube comment sections to complain about everything. I don't understand. Just, okay, that's all I have to say. So if you guys enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe, my whole spiel. Stay classy, guys. I really did not want to have to make this video, but you forced me.